Sondakki sir.
Am I audible, madam?
Yes, sir, you're audible, but your presentation is not visible. Have you shared the presentation?
Okay. Kindly wait for a while. Actually,
Yes.
I have shared my presentation, but let me share it once again. Yes. So, ma'am, is my screen visible?
Yes, your screen is visible, but I guess the PPT is yet to be shared. Yes,
Yes.
now it's visible.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
Shall we start, sir?
Yes, ma'am. I think it's 5:15, 17 actually.
Yes.
Yes, we can start with our presentation.
Okay, yes. So, a very good evening to all the participants from India as well as outside India. So, we are starting today with the second day of our workshop, Computer Networks and Insight. And the topic for today is IP addressing and subnetting. And to deliver the lecture on this, we have Professor P.V. Sontakke sir. So, without much delay, I think we should start with the session. So, over to you, sir.
Yes. Thank you very much, madam. Yeah. So, very warm welcome for today's session, and today's very interesting topic, that is the IP addressing and subnetting. So without IP addressing, the devices cannot communicate with each other. As I told yesterday also, the humans can be identified by our names, or humans can be recognized by the names. In the same way, devices can be identified or recognized by their addressing scheme, and this addressing scheme is nothing but an IP address. So in this particular session, myself, Prakash Sonpekke, will going to start this presentation. These are the content of today's presentation. So initially, we'll talk about what is actually IP address, how it is represented, what are the different versions of IP address, what are the different types of IP address, how we are going to identify the network identity and host identity part of the devices. Along with that, the significance of the subnet mask, because every time if we are assigning an IP address to the device, we always give the subnet mask below it. Okay, if you go to the setting of any computers or laptop or any device, below the IP address, we have one provision to write the subnet mask. So we should know what is the significance of this subnet mask. And after that, we talk about what is subnetting. Now, the name itself indicates its meaning, sub and netting. That is, we are dividing your network into some small sub networks. Okay, so initially we started our study with the classful IP addressing, and later on we can shift towards the classless IP addressing, because classful IP addressing currently is obsolete because of the wastage of IPs. Being an internet service providers, you need to assign the IP to each and every customers in a proper way. Okay, so we need to take care of the IP addresses should be effectively provided to each and every customer without the wastage. And that is why we go with the classless IP addressing. Now let us start with our today's session with the very first basic, that is the what is IP address. So IP address is nothing but it's a unique address, and that is used for identification of the devices. The devices might be your networking devices, okay, such as your network switch, hubs, routers, computers, your mobile phone also, it has an IP address. As there are multiple number of addresses are there based on the layer structure of ISO-SI model. Take an example, on your data link layer, we have the MAC addresses, also called as the physical addresses. So every manufacturers have provided one unique identity to the devices, and that will be represented MAC addresses. In the same way, on a network layer, we have the IP addresses. Okay, IP addresses are so called as a logical addressing, because if we say that the devices are physically connected, how we can distinguish between the devices? Those are physically connected and those are logically connected.
Excuse me, sir.
So we can say that.
Sontake, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I guess
Yes.
your PPT is not visible. Have you shared the PPT?
Yes, it is visible now.
No, sir.
Okay, wait a while. I think I'll share it once again.
Yes, sir, it's visible now. But I guess when you start the camera, then the PPT goes off.
Okay, and that is why, because of, okay, so then I can.
Yes, maybe you can keep your camera off.
Okay, that will be fine. Now is it visible, ma'am?
Yes, it's visible,
Yes.
sir.
Thanks a lot. So as I said, these are the content of our presentation, that is today's outline. Okay, what is IP address, representation of IP addresses, classful IP addressing, net ID and host ID identification, significance of subnet mask, and what is meant by subnetting. And as I mentioned, what is IP addressing? So IP address is a unique address, and that identifies the devices on the internet or onto the local network. So in this occasion, I will take this the content about the differentiation between the intranet and the internet. So what is meant by intranet and what is meant by internet? So intranet is the local network, where we can say it is a small LAN, that is local area network, where few computers are connected with the help of certain topology, network topology. So that can be observed in one room or in one building or in one campus, that we can call this as an intranet. Okay, but if such small intranets, if they are connected with each other with the help of internet service providers, then a huge complex network will be formed, and that we can call this as an internet. Okay, so that is your local network is your intranet network, and such intranet networks we are connecting with each other with the help of internet service providers, then we can call this as an internet, that is World Wide Web, where devices are exchanging the information worldwidely. So the problem raises that how the devices can be identified. So that can be identified with the help of IP addressing. So your IP addresses are divided into two versions. The very first version is IP version 4 and other is IP version 6. Now let us talk about what can be the differentiation between them. So we'll first talk about what is IP version 4, and later on we can shift to the IP version 6. Okay, so the IP version 4 is a 32-bit address. What it consisting of? It consisting of 4 decimal numbers separated by a dot symbol. Means we have 4 octets. Octet means 8 bits, which is separated by a dot symbol. So 8 multiplied by 4, so it is 32-bit. The total size of IP version 4 is 32-bit wide, and it is uniquely and universally defined. Means we cannot assign the same IP address to the multiple devices. Otherwise, it will conflicted. So what you need to do? You need to assign a unique and separate IP address from the same range to the multiple devices if they want to communicate with each other. Now for this IP version 4, what can be the total address space can be generated? That can be the next question. So the size of your IP version 4 is 32-bit address. So the total number of address space generated would be 2 raised to 32. So if every individual wants this IP address from the internet service providers, now 2 raised to 32 value is very much less if we are comparing it with the global population. If every individual wants the internet service, then this range, this address space would be very much less. So in that case, we need to shift, that is the transition from IP version 4 to the IP version 6. And the size of IP version 6 is 128 bit wide, 128. And that is why the address space available in IP version 6 is 2 raised to 128, which is a huge quantity. So every individual will get the multiple IP address simultaneously also. Okay, that is we can thought of next, that is IP version 6. But now focus on what is IP version 4. Now let us talk about the representation of IP version 4 address. Now, as I mentioned, how this IP version 4 is written, so it will be consisting of 4 decimal numbers. So in this case, I have given one example as 128.11.3.31. So it will be having 4 decimal numbers, which is separated by a dot symbol. And each octet, now suppose if I'm talking about 128 bit, okay, decimal number, if I'm converting it into the binary one, it will be look like 1 and 7 times 0. So it is the one octet, another octet. Okay, so this is first octet, this is second octet, this is third octet, and this would be the fourth octet. So 8 into 4, it gives the size of 32 bit wide. Okay, so your IP version 4 would be represented in dotted decimal notation. Dotted means we have 4 decimal numbers separated by a dot symbol. Okay, this is the syntax of how we can write this IP version 4. Understood? Okay, now generally we can talk about how we are going to convert this decimal number into binary and vice versa. If I want to calculate the binary version of 128, how I can calculate it? And so for that one, let us talk about one basic introduction of binary number system. So I have represented one number. If you can observe it, now this number is from LSB, it is 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, and it is keep on going. Okay, so here we have some weightage of it. So that is why it is written onto the top: 2 raised to 0, 2 raised to 1, 2 raised to 2, 2 raised to 3, 2 raised to 4, 2 raised to 5, and so on and so forth. That is 2 raised to n. Okay, so if I am calculating the weightage, so 2 raised to 0 is 1, 2 raised to 1 is 2, 2 raised to 2 is 4, 2 raised to 3 is 8. So it is 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. These are the weightage in the binary. So if I am talking about this particular binary number, so from here I can calculate it is 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, and 128. So last bit, if it is set to 1, then that can be represented as 128. In the same way, if I am talking about this binary system, so the weightage for first LSB is 1, 2, fourth is 0, and third one is 0, and fourth one is, that is 1, 2, 4, and 8. So 8 plus 2 plus 1. So 8 plus 2 is 10, and 1 is 11. So in this way, the decimal to binary number can be converted based on the weightage of it, that is binary weightage of it. So I think you might be aware about this binary system, but this is simply the prerequisite of converging from one decimal number to the binary number. Let us talk about more brief in binary notation and dotted decimal notation. So I'm just providing you one exercise. Okay, so what you need to do, you need to change the following addresses which are written in the binary notation, and that you need to convert into the decimal numbers. So these are your choices. Okay, so this is one of the first IP address. We'll be having 4 octets, and which will be having one in between dot symbol. Okay, you need to convert these binary numbers into the decimal number. So you need to find out what can be the weightage of it. So it is 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. So 128 plus 1, it gives, it is 129. So first number is 129. So So in this way, you need to calculate the decimal number of rest of the, yes, the numbers. So if it is 1011, so it is simply 11. So 129.11.11 dot, again you need to find out the value. And if you go on calculating these values, okay, it will be, you needed this reference, okay, and the answers will be 129.11.11.239. So you need to add the respective weightage of the number, binary number, and so that you can capable of converting the binary into the decimal, or in vice versa, decimal into the binary. Okay, so you can take this as an exercise, okay, and you can do it. Next one, you can go in a reverse way also. Okay, so in exercise 2, what can be asked? To change the following IP addresses from dotted decimal notation to the respective binary notation. So again, what you needed this reference, binary system reference, and the weightage to calculate these decimal numbers into the binary. Okay, so that can be the one of the exercise you want it. Yes, you can do it. Okay, and accordingly you can calculate the respective binary numbers. Okay, this is the basic one. You should do it. Once we'll share this PPT with you. Okay, but this would be the one of the prerequisites required for understanding of IP addresses. Let us talk about this in details. Now, sometimes we'll be providing or getting certain errors in your IP address. So being an engineer, you should be able to identify the errors in the IP address. Now let us see these particular IP address. Now I have here mentioned 4 respective IP address, and you would like to identify the errors into it. So as we have mentioned, how the IP addresses are written. So 4 decimal numbers separated by a dot symbol. Okay. So in this case, if I am reading it, so 111.56.045.78. So what can be the error? You can observe in your first IP address. Yes. Anybody would like to highlight it? You can unmute and talk. What can be
045?
Yes, very nice. Yes, it is 0. So 0 you cannot incorporate into your IP address. Okay. So instead you need to write here only 45.78. Okay. Very nice attempt. Now let us talk about the second one. So it will be represented by 221.34.7.8.20. So can anybody tell me what can be the error associated with it?
0.20.
Yes. Yes, here 2 dots are there. Now see, here 5 decimal numbers are provided. Okay, and or we can say that we can have only 4 decimal numbers separated by a dot symbol. But here 5 decimal numbers are shown with the dot symbol. Next, 75.45.301.14. What can be the error?
301.
Yes. So if I am talking
301.
about, yes, very sure it is 301. But how it is 301? If I am talking about one separate octet, if it is represented by all zeros and if it is represented by all ones, the maximum size is, yes, how much? 255. If I am starting from 0, it should be completed with 255 only. Yes, because 2 raised to 8 is 256. And as we are starting our counting from 0, it should be end with 255. And that is why the last IP or last value decimal number should be 255 in the IP address. Otherwise, it will be considered as an invalid IP address. So 301 is exceeded 255, that is why it is invalid. Understood? Now, what can be the error associated with the last
binary number is given in
Binary number.
Yes, very correct. Means in this particular IP address or example, both binary representation as well as decimal representation is given, and that is not at all expected. Okay, either you can go with the binary, otherwise you can at least go with the decimal number. You cannot integrate both of them. Okay, so yes, correct. The solutions I have provided also. Okay, so you please go through this. Okay, and we have just gone through also. Again, let us talk about this study in details, and this is very interesting, and this is useful for designing of your network. So what is classful IP addressing? Your IP addresses are divided into two categories: classful IP addressing and classless IP addressing. So let us start our today's session with the classful IP addressing. So normally there are total 5 classes of IP addresses are observed. That is class A IP address, class B, class C, class D, and class E. 5 classes are observed. Now let us talk about it in details. Now, if I am representing it with the help of binary notations, okay. So here class A, B, C, D, E, all are represented. So how many octets are there? One octet contributes 1 byte of information. That is 8 bits. Okay. So first byte, second byte, third byte, and fourth byte. So if I want to recognize the type of, or sorry, the class of IP address, so I need to check what can be the first digit of binary. Okay, so it is written class A, B, C, D, E. If your first binary digit starts from 0, then we can say that it is a class A IP address. If your first digit, 2 digits are represented by 10, then it is class B IP address. If it is represented by 110, then it is class C IP address. Means now initially it is 0, then it will be added 1 before to the MSB. Okay, so then 1110, it is class D, and all ones, 4 ones, it represents the class E IP address. Now you can observe that only 3 IP addresses are shown in some colored full notation. What is that? So normally we can use first 3 IP address classes: class A, class B, and class C. Depends on the size of your, or the capacity of your network. Okay, class D and class E, we cannot use it because class D is used for multicasting and class E is reserved for research purpose. So multicasting means it is a one-to-many communication. In certain applications, we need to communicate. We can have a single sender and a group of receivers. In that case, we can use the multicasting IP address, but these 2 IP address classes are reserved. Okay, so if your network size is very huge, in that case, you can go with A address, class A address. How it is, we'll talk about it after this slide. If you want to go with medium range network, you can select class B IP address. And if again you can have a small network, LAN network, you can go with class C IP address. Now let us move again here onto the decimal number notations. If your IP address starts from the range between 0 to 127, if any number is written, for example, it is 10.10.10.10. So first, what you can say, the decimal number is written as 10. So that 10 is lie within this range. So we can say it is a class A IP address. Okay, so you should know these ranges. So class A range is from 0 to 127. Class B range is 128 to 191. Class C is 192 to 223. Class D is 224 to 239, and class E is 240 to 255. So now see, we are starting from 0. So we need to end with 255. So total 256 IP addresses are there. Okay, and their ranges are there. Yes.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Sir, could you tell me please that is there any relation we can relate, like from the binary notation to the dotted decimal to remember IP addresses classes? Like in the first table, we can say that we can see the class. Yeah, exactly, the 0,
Yeah,
right?
yes, yes.
Just, can we relate this 0 to 127 some way?
So if it is starting from any number, if it is from 0, all it is related to class A. If try to find out, now see, if I want to represent 127 in binary notation, so it always starts from 0 and all 7 ones. You check it.
Yes, 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 yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And
I got
every
it.
time you are getting the 0 as a first bit.
Yes, it means that the whenever we are using like 1 in a
Yeah.
binary, that time it will be the 128, right?
Yes. Yes.
And minus 1,
It's
minus 1 will
120.
give you a 127,
Yes.
and this we can relate directly 0, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Definitely.
okay, great. Thank you so much.
Yeah. 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 So here, if you need to identify the class of the IP address, you need to remember these ranges. So in between, if your IP address starts from, suppose I am taking 192.168.1.0. So 192 is live within this range. So we can say it is a class C IP address. Okay, and based on that, you need to use this for identification of the designing of network where the devices are small, medium, and large in the capacity. So if I want to design a network in which only 50 computers are there, definitely I can choose the class C IP address range. If it is more than 5,000, definitely I can go with the class B. And if it is suppose several thousand or lakhs of computers are there, definitely I can go with class A IP address. So capacity is increasing in the same way. Your classes again it goes increasing. Understood? Now,
Hello. I'm
yes,
sorry.
yeah.
Thank you so much for that also. Could you please explain that how much endpoints or how much IP addresses can be possible with the classes, each and every class?
Yes, yes, yes. That is again I'm explaining this because here now it is being shown some colored boxes. Yeah, and that is the role of here. That is a subnet mask. Now, if I'm observing this class C IP address, its subnet mask. Let me show you. Yes, this one. Now, if I'm talking about class A, and now see the first byte is represented in yellow block. So means the last octet in your subnet mask it is full 255. Okay, so its subnet mask is 255 and 3 times 0, and that is why the remaining bytes are empty. So 8 plus 8 plus 8, 24 bytes are empty, means they are represented by 0. So in the computer network IP addressing, 0 represents the host number and 1 it represents the network one. So 2 raised to 24 would be the address space generated if I am using class A IP address. Okay, in the same way, if I'm talking about class B IP addressing, its subnet mask value is 2 times 255, 2 times 0. And that is why now it is represented in these colored blocks, 2 times 255. 2 octets are empty. So 8 plus 8, it is 16. So 2 raised to 16, that is something 65,000 something, that count will be generated. Okay, and that much amount of address space will be generated. But if I'm talking about class C, we can have 3 times 255. So 255.255.255, and only one last octet is empty, that is 2 raised to 8. That is that much amount of capacity or IP addresses can be generated. So here class C 2 raised to 8 addresses are generated. For class B 2 raised to 16 addresses can be generated, and for class A 2 raised to 24 addresses can be generated. Understood? And if I want to write the abbreviated form of subnet mask, every time I cannot write this default subnet mask value 255.255.0.0 or any class subnet mask. So instead, some abbreviation value will be given, and that is called as CIDR. That is classless inter-domain routing. Okay, this is the abbreviated version. What it indicates? If I am represented this as /8, what it's meaning that in your subnet mask, here first octet is represented by 8 ones, and ones indicates your network. So here, if I am going for class B, 8 plus 8, because 255 is 2 times are available. Okay, so 8 plus 8 is 16. And here in this case, 3 255s are there. So that is why it is 8 plus 8 plus 8, 24 ones are available. So if I write any IP address, take an example of 10.10.10.10, and 10 lies in class A. So I can write /8 because I know the abbreviated form of your subnet mask for class A IP address. Understood? So if it is for class B, I can go with /16, and if it is for class C, I can go with /24. Understood? Okay, so once it is clear, then we can move to the next slide. Yes, if anybody is having the doubt, they can clarify it. Otherwise, we can go with the next one also. Okay. Now, let us talk about get one kind of a small exercise again, and you need to identify the class of each address provided below. Now, let us talk. That is, first IP address is 255.5.15.100. So, can you please identify the class? So, 255 is live within. Yes, anyone? Okay, let me admit. Yes, is it visible? So can anybody tell me the answer of the first question?
Sir, class E.
So that is why you require 1 minute. So you require that particular table. So as I mentioned that you should be with the table, which is first range is from 0 to 127. Second one is 128 to 191. Third one 192 to 223. Fourth one 224 to 239. And fifth one 240 to 255. So now in previous case, the example is 255, 52 is started. So it is going into the class E IP address. Okay, and go to the next. Yes, so 255 lie in class E IP address range. So it is class E. Now what can be the second?
Class A.
Yes, it starts from 14, so it is obviously is class A. Now what about the third one?
Again, class A.
It starts with 0. If it starts with 0, it is class A IP address. And what about the last one?
Class C.
Class C.
Class C. Yes, definitely. That is why, yes, it is class C IP address. So once you have know the first byte, you need to concentrate on the first byte if it is given in decimal, and if it is given in binary, you need to just check the first bit or second bit, third bit, or fourth, at least first 4 bits. And based on that, IP addresses classes can be identified. Yes. Okay. Let us move ahead with somewhat brief content. How much blocks can be generated? So if I mean to say one block means, take an example. If I'm in this case, certain classes are shown, number of blocks are shown, and the capacity of each block is shown. Now I need to concentrate first on class C IP address because its capacity is less. 2⁸ is 256. So if I'm observing here, the block size is only 256. In the same way, how many blocks I can construct throughout? It is this much quantity. Okay, this much quantity of blocks can be generated. But if it is class B, then class B block size is 2⁸16. 2⁸16 is 65,536. So how many blocks can be generated with this particular capacity? It's 16,384 out of 2⁵32. Okay, and if for class A, if your block size is now 2⁻²4, which is this value, okay, and how many blocks can be generated? Only 128, but the capacity is more. Okay, in the same way, we can have this distinguished pattern between block size and the number of blocks. And the usage, if you're observing here the application, first 3 application, that is class A, class B, and class C IP addresses can be used as unicasting IP address. So normally we can say that the unicasting, multicasting, and broadcasting, these are the 3 concepts are there. Unicasting means it's a one-to-one communication. One device will transmit the data or send the device or receive the data from only one destination. Okay, it is one-to-one communication called as unicasting. In internet, yes, we are doing the same one. We are sending the data, we are accessing the data only from a single device simultaneously. So it is unicasting, and that is why it is represented by all the three classes as a unicasting application. Class D, as I said, is for use for multicasting. It is one to a group of destination devices. You can transmit the data, but it is not a broadcasting. Multicasting is nothing but it's a special case of broadcasting, where if I'm having 4 groups of devices, each group consisting of 100 devices, then I can send the data to only first group. Rest of the 3 groups are remain same. They will not receive your data. It is a multicasting. Okay, and broadcasting means it is one to all. Whatever the devices are available, everybody will getting the data simultaneously. So that is the broadcasting. So in this way, the application we can have the class D's for multicast, and we can have the last class is reserved for research and innovation purposes. Now let us talk about the private address space provided. Everybody, if you are observing in any institute, in any offices, in government sector, private sector, we are strict with these IP addresses. Take an example. You can check the IP address of your system at your office or your college. You can either go with these ranges only, because these are the private address space provided by IANA society. That is a number, Internet Assigned Number Authority Society. Okay. These are the free IP addresses. We can use them at any instant of time, and you can use them. But apart from these ranges, we cannot use the other IP addresses. Otherwise, those can be conflicted because they are already in use in the internet. So we cannot use the IP address which are apart from these IP address, and that is why we can call this as a private address space. And if you check the IP address of any system, it will start with either class A IP address, that is, it starts from 10 dot, or it starts from 172 dot, or it starts from 192 dot. So we can have a LAN in which we can go with definitely class C IP address, because the size of the network is very small. 2⁸ is 256. So we can go with 192.168. These two numbers we can change it either from 0 to 0 to 120, that is 255, or then it will be incremented from 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. In this way up to 255.255. Okay, so this will be considered as your private address space. The next,
Hello.
yes.
Sir, could you, yeah.
Yeah.
The same slide. I just wanted to ask
Yes.
you about the number of blocks and the block size. How it's been calculated. That, like, as you said, that in class A there are number of blocks. The number of possible blocks will be
Yes.
128, but for each and every block size could be 16 lakh.
For
Sorry,
every
16
block.
77,000.
Yes, for every block, the capacity of block is this much.
Yeah, right. I understood that. For each and every block, the block size for each and every individual block, number of block, right?
Yes.
So, how it's been calculated that that much of amount or that much of block size? How it's been calculated?
That is based on the size of IP address. As I mentioned, the total overall size of IP address is 2⁵32. Yes. So
Okay.
out of that, if I am taking here only 8 bits, so remaining bits are we can use for your number of blocks. Yes, those many combinations we can get there. 2⁵124. That is a very big count. So in that case, we can get that much number of blocks. Okay. So total number of, if you are considering the total number of blocks and the sizes for all A, B, C, all are same.
Not clear.
Okay, means what happened? Now see, if I'm talking about class C, okay, the last octet is empty. Okay, it is
Yes,
size
yes.
is 2⁵8. Yes,
Huh,
and that is
right.
256. Remaining 8 plus 8 plus 8, 24 bits are reserved for the network.
Yes, right.
Yes, so remaining bits can contribute to the number of blocks. We can create those many number of blocks finally, because
Okay.
if you got multiplied this, okay, whatever the value you are getting, that is 2⁵30.
The total number of
Yes.
endpoints we can create in a with class C, right?
Yes. If you calculate the
Okay.
multiplication, it will be 2 raised to 32 for all.
Okay, okay. Great,
That's
great.
good.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. Yes. Let us talk about in detail again what are the contents of your IP address if it is written. So some of the decimal numbers or binary numbers are located or assigned for network identification number, and some of the numbers will be represented for host identification number. So as I mentioned, one, if I'm saying number 1, it is going for the network identification, and if I'm using number 0, that will be going for host identification. Okay, so let us contribute or concentrate on class A IP address. So if I'm talking about one example, that is 10.10.10.10, in this case, my default subnet mask value is 255.0.0.0. Okay, so in this case, only the first number in your IP address, here in subnet mask, your first byte is full. In a case, your first number represents the net ID. Okay, because this is related to your number 1, means 255 means all the 8 ones are represented in that octet. That is, ones represent the network, and that is why this term is here 10. So I can represent this as a net ID, and remaining 3 numbers, that is 10.10.10, respective to remaining 10 zeros, 8 plus 8 plus 8, 24 zeros, those will be represented as host IDs. Okay, so here first number in subnet mask represented as ones, and that is why that act as a net ID, and remaining are all zeros, that will be represented by host IDs. In the same way, if I am going to the class B IP address, I am taking again the private address space. It starts from 172.16.10.10, and the subnet mask value for class B is 2 times 255 and 2 times 0. Okay, and then you can see that the first 2 octets are full. In the same way, the first two decimal number represent the network identification, and remaining 2 bits bytes will represent as a host identification number. Okay, and similarly, if you can go with the class C IP address, I am taking one again private address IP address, that is 192.168.10.10. In this case, my subnet mask value is 3 times 255 and 0. So first 3 numbers in your IP address contributes to the network ID, and 1 number is simply the host ID. For your information, we only can have the combinations, or we can change only the host ID numbers. For example, in class C, the last octet is represented as host ID, so I can change this number from 0 to 255. Okay, so from 0 to 255 means 256, and that is the capacity of your class C. But we cannot change this number, as this indicates your network ID. We cannot have the privilege to change this number, but we can vary this number. So in the same way, here in class B IP address, 2 octets are represented by host ID, so we can vary these 2 numbers. Okay, and that is why it is 8 plus 8, that is 2 raised to 16 would be the size of class B IP address. In the same way, in class A IP address, 3 octets can be variable. Okay, so it is variable. So 8 plus 8 plus 8, that is 24 zeros are there. So total 2 raised to 24 can be the size of class A IP address. Okay, so one takeaway from this particular slide, we cannot change the network ID, but we can have multiple combinations can be generated by varying these numbers in the host IDs. Understood? So first byte in class A represent net ID, first 2 bytes in class B act as a net ID, and first 3 bytes in your class C IP address represents as net ID. Understood? So network can be identified by these particular notations. Now let us talk about in brief about what is the significance of subnet mask. Every time we are providing this subnet mask after the IP address. So as we discussed, what is the default subnet mask for class A? it is 255.0.0.0. For class B, it is 2 times 255, 2 times 0. And for class C, 3 times 255 and 1 times 0. So with the help of subnet mask, you can able to find out the first address called as a network address and last address called as a broadcast address and the total number of addresses within the block. So these three kind of parameters or information we can calculate it with the help of subnet mask. Now the question come into your mind, how we can calculate it? Now see one example I have shown. I'm having one simple block. This is the size of your network, okay? And the capacity, if you're observing, it starts from 32 last byte, okay, ends with 47. So total, how many IP addresses are there? For 32 to 47 is only 16. Yes, here it is represented in binary notation also. Here it is shown also. It is 16 addresses. And if you are observing the first IP address is 205.16.37.32, this we cannot assign to your computer. This is always we are assigning to your network, okay? And this is called as your network address. And last IP address in a block always called as a broadcast address. So always keep in mind that the first IP address and last IP address, we cannot use it or we cannot assign it to the computers. So if you have a block of 16 addresses, so the usable range or addresses are only 14, which is 2 minus of that all the range. That is 16 minus 2 is 14. So 2 means the first address and last address. We always ignore the first and last. We cannot assign it. Try to give the first address to a computer. It gives an error and it shows that that IP address is reserved also. Okay, so in this case, I'm just going to find out what is the first address and last address with the help of subnet mask. Understood? So can anybody tell me if it is 205, what can be the class of IP address? Yes, the first byte is 205. What is the class of IP address?
Class D.
Class C.
Class
C.
Class C, yes. The class C range is 192 to 223. Yes. So this 205 is lie between class C. And if I'm asking what is the subnet mask for class C?
3 times
255.255.255.0.
It's 3 times 255.0. Okay. And based on that subnet mask, I'm just taking one of the random IP address from this block and I'm just trying to find out what can be my first address and what can be the last address so that I come to know how many addresses are available in a block. I should able to understand what is the capacity of this block network or that particular network. Okay, so let us check it. Now I'm taking one example. As I mentioned, a block of address is granted to a small organization and we know that one of the address. So I'm just taking one of the address. Now see, I have shown it here. From 32 to 47, I have chosen one random IP address as 39. Now see, 205.16.37.39/28. Now this /28, we can call this as a custom, that is CIDR value, which is not a default subnet mask. Yes, if you have observed here, the earlier default CIDR values are /8, /16, and /24 only. But here it is shown /28, and that is your classless IP addressing. We come to know that after these examples. Okay. Now, what is the first address, last address, and number of address in the block? Now, what is the known parameters? I am knowing the IP address and the subnet mask, which is custom one, which is not a default one. Okay, and I come to know it is a class C IP address. What I can do, the first IP addresses can always find by doing the ANDing, that is logical AND operation. I can use it. So what I have divided, I am just representing this decimal IP address into binary IP addressing. Okay, So 205 is represented in this way. 16 would be represented in this way. So everything I have converted into the binary one, and along with that I am writing this /28 in mask. That is a mask value. 28 indicates the total number of ones in your subnet mask. So I have written here all 28 ones. So total size is 32. So remaining 4 will be represented by 0, and all are ones. Now if I am doing bit by bit ANDing operation, okay, how AND operation, logical AND operation works? If both the values are 1, then your option object or output is 1. Otherwise, all are 0. So if I am doing bit by bit operation, that is ANDing operation, I am getting this particular value. And can anybody try to find out this value last byte? 0, 0, 1 and 5 times 0. So it is 1, 2, 4, 8, 16 and 32. Now I come to know that at my last byte I have the 32, okay, and I need to show you that your start IP, the last byte is 32. Means this can be my first network address. So how I can come to know? So if I am doing the ANDing operation between my any IP address within the block and the subnet mask value, I can easily find out this particular value. Now I have just converted it, and this would be your network address. That is the first IP address in the block. Understood? So in the same way, I need to find out the last IP address from the block. So once I got the value of first and last, I can easily find out how many total addresses are available in the same block. Okay. So in that case, what is required? So if I want to find out the last address, I need to apply ORing operation, logical OR operation. Okay. And in the same way, now see what I need to do. I'm just going to write down my IP address as it is, but in this case, I am taking the complement of subnet mask. What is complement? Whatever the bits I have represented, I simply invert it. Earlier, 28 ones are there, so 28 ones are represented by 28 zeros. Okay, and remaining 4s are represented zeros as ones. Simply taken ones complement of it. Okay, and if I am doing bit by bit OR operation, I am getting this value, and this value of IP address would be coming 205.16.37.47. And now you can concentrate on the last byte, that is 47. And now I need to show you the 47 is nothing but it is the last IP address from your block. Okay, so if you know 32 is the first number, 47 would be the last number, then you can easily find out how many IP addresses are there in your block. Okay, so let me show you. Yes, the number of addresses can be found by complementing the mask and interpreting it as a decimal number by adding 1 to it. So let me show you again how I can able to find out. It is again the same one. Whatever the complement of mask I have taken, okay, the same one I am taken it here and just adding 1 to it. Okay, so as 1111 represents 15, and if I'm adding 1 to it, it becomes 16. And yes, for that block, the capacity of IP addresses are 16. Also, you can count it from 32 to 47. You've come to know that the size of your block is 16 IP addresses only. Means 16 devices are currently available in that particular network. Understood? What is the significance of subnet mask? Now, let us talk about a very important concept in the computer networks as a subnetting. And yes, now we are approaching towards classless IP address. Why there is a need for going for classless IP address? Because take an example, if I want to create a network of having 50 computers only, so which class should I use? Yes?
Class C.
Any answer? Yes, definitely. I can go with class C, but what is the total capacity of class C? What is the capacity of
255.
class C? Is 2 raised to 8 means 256. Okay, but out of 256, if I'm using only 50, the remaining IP addresses are wasted. So how we can minimize this loss? So that is why we can go with classless IP addressing, and that is why this concept is subnetting, dividing your number of or your one network into some small subnetworks. Now, if I'm saying that your class C capacity is 2 raised to 8, which is 256. If I want to divide it into 4 subnets, what is the capacity of each network? Can anybody would like to highlight? 256 divided by 4, which is 64. So 64, 64, 64, 64. Yes. So 128 plus 128, it contributes 256. So in this way, by dividing your huge network into some small subnets, that is subnetworks, and those are isolated with each other. Let me give one example. If you can observe in any company, in any organization, take one example. In any company, we have different sections. We have the HR section, we have the designer section, we have the accountant section or admin section, and they are also using their own computers. But the data within that group cannot able to exchange or cannot going to share it, and that is why they need to isolate. So the data from account section cannot be accessible by the person from the HR section. It should be isolated from each other. So to isolate these networks, we can go with the subnetting. Yes. So what is this subnetting? So subnet will enhance the network security. Yes. If we are isolating your network, in this case, I said that class C network, if I'm dividing into the 4 subnets, then 4 separate networks, those are isolated from each other. They cannot capable of sharing the data within. They can share the data within the same small subnet, but rest of the subnets are not at all available. Okay, and that is the purpose of the subnetting, and definitely it will enhance the security also, because very small number of devices are available. So total bandwidth utilization within the subnet is used effectively. Otherwise, there will be having a huge traffic if everybody is trying to share the data or transmit the data. So instead, we can divide this network into small subnetworks, and this will make the networks more efficient also, and it will enhance the network performance, because if more numbers of devices are trying to send the data, there might be having the collisions in your network. The packet may collide with each other, and your quality of service of your network degrades. Okay, your throughput of your network degrades. If I'm sending from number of devices 1000 packets, so those 1000 packets without a single error, it should be received at the destination. Yeah, that is my aim. But due to certain traffic congestions or the congestions on the network, your security downgrades or your performance of network downgrades. So by using this subnetting, we are providing the solution to it. The subnetting divides the broadcast domain, meaning the traffic is routed efficiently. As I mentioned, your traffic is effectively utilized. Okay. Initially, if I'm talking about class C network, initially 256 devices are trying to communicate with each other. Now, if I'm doing the subnetting, 4 subnets, only 64 devices are using the overall bandwidth of your network. So the chances of collisions are minimized 1/4. Okay. And definitely that will be providing your improvement of your speed and the network performance. The networks or the subnet mask ensures the traffic remains within the designated subnet. This reduces the major congestion and reduces the load, because load plays very vital role. How much amount of traffic is there in your network, that treat as a load on your network, and with the help of this, you can minimize it. Okay. We can do the bridging concept also. You might be aware about the bridging concept. With the help of bridge, we are dividing the network also. Okay, we are combining or dividing, and we are making multiple collision domains. And finally, more IPs are vested in class full IP addressing. That is why we can go with the classless IP addressing. So I'm just taking one example. What is the role of this subnet mask, that is custom subnet mask? I have shown here 3 networks which have represented in separate colored blocks and which are connected with single router. So this is the symbol of router. Okay. And if I'm observing, I'm having 3 subnets: subnet 1, subnet 2, and subnet 3. What is the capacity of subnet 1? Now, if you're observing the IP addresses, okay, it is starting from here 17.12.14.1. Okay, so it starts from 0 actually, but 0 we cannot assign to the computer. So we have provided this to the backbone network, which is a bus topology. Okay, and remaining from 1 to 31. So 1 to 31 means total 32. So the capacity of your first subnet is 32 IPs or computers. In the same way, if I'm talking about the second one, okay, it starts from, now see, it starts from 32, and we cannot assign first IP address to the device. So I have given this to the network, okay, and from 32 to 47. So total 16 IP addresses for each subnet, subnet 2 and subnet 3. And based on that, now see, if in case of subnet 1, 32, so 2 raised to how much is 32? You can take simply log of 32 value. It would be 2 raised to 5. Yes. So 5 represents your number of network bits. That is 5 ones are there. So if suppose I am using here one IP address related with class C, because I never go with the maximum class A. Suppose it is instead of the 17, I can go with suppose 192.168. Now what is this 27? Can anybody would like to highlight why it is represented 27?
The CID here.
Sir, because it is.
But why specifically 27 only? Now see, if it is written 27,
Here, there will be only 27 ones from the IP
Yes.
address.
yes. So how many, suppose if it is 27, what is the total capacity or size of IP version 4?
2 raised to 32.
32 only, 32 bits. Okay, so 32 minus 27, how much?
5.
5.
5.
2 raised to 5 is
2 raised to 5 would be 32.
This what? 5 represents total zeros are available with us. So we can make 2 raised to 5 as 32 IP addresses generated. Okay.
Okay,
In this
it means-
case now, yes.
Okay,
Any
it means
query?
we can take 32. If we need 32 IPs, then we can go for only 32 IPs, and the remaining IP will not get burst, and it will be useful for another network,
Yes,
right?
yes. We can effectively utilize
That's why
the
we
IP address.
use classless IP addressing. Okay.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you.
Now, if you are observing this second subnet here, it is represented /28. Now, 32 minus 28 is how much? 4. Okay. So 2 raised to 4 is 16. So means in this subnet only 16 IP addresses can be available. Rest of the IP address cannot have that privilege also. In the same way, here is also /28. Okay, means here again the capacity is 16. So in this way, by changing the value of subnet mask, that is the CIDR value, we can use effective IP addresses within the blocks or within the networks. Understood? If you have any query, you can ask me. Otherwise, we can go with the one problem also that is useful. If you understand this IP addressing, you can definitely go with the identification or the solution of the problem. If you do have any query, you can ask me.
So sorry to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
1 hour is over. So I just thought of telling you that.
Okay, okay. Now let me give one example finally, okay, and then we can stop. Now see, I'm just going to share this PDF also, okay. Here everything will be shown starting from the ranges of IPs, okay, from class A, B, C, D, E. Then what can be the private address space? What can be the default subnet mask? How we are going to convert the binary number into the IP address or the decimal number, or in reverse way also calculation you can do it as exercise. But I need to give again for identification. I have given multiple IP address. Try to find out the classes of IP address respective. The net ID and host ID, how we can identify. Now, yes, give me 1 minute. Okay. If you are observing this IP 17.45.222.45, can anybody would like to tell which section is net ID and which section is host ID? First, you need to find out what is the class of IP. What is the class of this IP?
A.
Class A. So if it is class A, the subnet mask is 255.3 times 0. If it is 255, means your first number represents it is the net ID. And remaining
Okay.
3 zeros are there, so remaining 3 numbers are represented as host ID.
First.
So in this way, you need to find out the classes of all the IPs, and based on the subnet mask, you need to go with the identification of net ID and host ID. Understood? In this case, again, I'm taking one more only. One more. Okay. In this case, this 192.15.55.2. What is the class?
B. Class C.
C.
It is class C IP
Class
address.
C. Class
Yes.
C.
And the subnet mask of class C is 3 times 255 and 1 times 0. First 3 numbers represents it is
Net
the net
ID.
Net ID.
remaining one we can call this as an host ID. Understood?
Host ID.
In this way, I have given multiple questions. You can go with it. Okay. And again, one exercise is given. Try to identify the class of IP, and you can tell me the subnet of mask of that particular IP. I have given 177.100.18.1. What is the class of this IP? Check first IP only, first number.
B.
Class B.
It is
Class B.
this range. What is the range of class B? It is
Class C.
1A to 191. Yes, so it is class B IP address. So for class B IP address, the default subnet mask value is 255 times and 2 times 0. In this way, can you tell me for 223? That is right. 223
Class C.
class.
Class C.
Yes, it is from the 192 to 223. So it is class C. Okay, and what is the subnet mask for class C?
3 times 255 and
3
1
times
time.
255, 1 times 0. In this way, I have given multiple exercises. You can go through each and every IP address and try to solve it. Okay. And how to find out the first IP, last IP by doing the ANDing operation or doing the OR operation. Everything I have given in this, but I need to show only one example why there's a need of custom subnet mask, that is classless IP address. Now see, if you have joined any company as a network administrator and you need to design your own network. So what is the objective you need to give him? That is the total number of usable subnets you need to design as 14, and total number of hosts
13.
in each subnet, it should be 14. Okay, this is the task you will given, and the kind of address is provided also. That is 192.10.10.0. So if it is 192, you can easily say it is a class C IP address. It is written also. Understood? Now these 3 parameters are given, and you need to design now the network. Now can you please give the answer of the following questions? What is the class of address? If it starts from 192, it is class C. What is the default subnet mask value? It is 3 times 255, 1 times 0. Now for doing these many subnets, what can be the custom subnet mask value? And that is provided over here. So initially, how 240 is coming? Initially it is 0. How it is 240 is coming? For that,
Yes.
let me show you some calculations. Is it visible properly? Now see.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
So first three octets it is written 192.10.10, but I have explored the last octet. How many zeros are there? 8 zeros are there.
8 zeros.
Yes.
8
Now what I am doing, I am just providing the binary weightage from left to right. That is 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128. Okay. Now, if I want to go for the creation of subnets, so I can go with right to left. And from this first MSB number, I can give the number as 2, 4, that is 2 raised to 1, 2 raised to 2, 2 raised to 3, 2 raised to 4, means 2, 4, 8, 16 multiple times. Okay, from right to left. But if I want to go with the host numbers, I can go with left to right in a reverse way. 2, 4, 16, 8, 16, 32 in this way. I can write it for my host byte. Okay. Up till this is understood. Now see, what is our expectation? What is the task given? How many subnets we need to create? 14. Yes. And what is the capacity of each subnet? How many hosts are required? 14. So this is the only data we are with us. Now, if I am talking about the subnet mask, in this case, this is the direction of subnet mask. Where is 14? So we need to go with the number which is higher than 14. So here it is represented as, here it is represented. Yes, I found this number 16, which is greater than this 14. Okay, so in the same way, the total number of hosts in each subnet. So host I am going from left to right. So I need to go with some number which is greater than 14. Yes, I can found this number here. Yes, what I am doing, I am just taking one vertical line and I am isolating it. And what I am doing, I am going to represent these numbers, whatever the numbers which is earlier to this line. I am having these 4 numbers. So I am representing these 4 numbers as ones. Earlier, they are the part of the host because 0 represents host, 1 represents your network. So I am representing these 4 zeros as ones. Now just check the weightage. 128, so I have taken this 128 here. 64, I am adding it. 32, yes, and 16. So I am just taking first 4 bits. It is earlier 0. I am borrowing it and converting into 1. So I am adding it 128 plus 64 plus 32 plus 16. I am getting this value as 240. Understood? And that is why in custom subnet mask, it has been written as 240.
Correct.
Understood? I have borrowed 4 numbers. These are the 4 numbers. Where is that? Yeah. I am just borrowing these 4 numbers because the total number of subnet needed is 16 and the hosts are needed 16. I'm just taking one vertical line and I can borrow these 4 numbers. Okay. So 1, 1, 1, 1. So I am just adding these binary weightage values and I am just calculating this value, and this would be my custom subnet mask. Earlier the last octet is 0. These 8 zeros are available. Out of 8 zeros, I have borrowed 4 zeros as ones. Those will represent network number, and this value weightage is 240. Understood? All of you?
Yes,
Yes.
Yes,
And
sir.
now see,
Yes, sir.
from this you will be able to give my answer. Now see, what can be the next question? The total number of subnets. How many subnets we have created? 16. Here it is the direction.
16.
How many hosts is available in each subnet? This is 16. And that is why it is written. If you can observe. See, the total number of subnets are 16. Total number of hosts are 16. But I said earlier also, we cannot use the first and last IP address. And that is why usable IP addresses are only 14. In the same way,
14.
we cannot use the first and last subnet, and that is why we always subtract 2 from the subnet and the IP address range. That is why it is 14 subnets are there and 14 usable addresses are there. Understood? And one more thing, how many bits are borrowed from your last octet? Here, how many bits are borrowed?
4 bits.
It's four bits are borrowed. We are representing these as 4 ones. Okay. So here it will be shown how many number of bits are borrowed. So it is 4. Okay. So in this way, this is the one example I have provided. And can anybody tell me if I am representing this subnet, that is a custom subnet mask, as 3 times 255 and 240, and anybody would like to say the CIDR value? You please tell me about this. What is the CIDR for default class C? I can write it as a slash 24. That is, if it is class C, then 8 plus 8 plus 8, which is 24. Yes, that is the default CIDR value. Can anybody tell me the custom CIDR value? Here we have the 8 ones. Here we have another 8 ones. Here we have another 8 ones. And how many bits we borrowed from the last octet?
4.
So 8 plus 8 plus 8 is 24. 24 plus 8,
Plus
24 plus 4 is
28.
20.
128.
So I can write here my custom subnet mask is /28. Okay, so I have here 14 subnets and capacity of each subnet is 14. So only these 14 devices can communicate with each other. They cannot try to communicate with respect to remaining 13 subnets. We have isolated. How we can isolate it? By giving this custom subnet mask. Understood? So in this way, I have provided here multiple kinds of questions based on the capacity of your subnet. In this case, I needed 1000 subnets and capacity of each subnet is 60 hosts. So now, and the IP address is given 165 starting. That is class B IP address. Then in this case, last 2 octets are empty. So I need to explore remaining 2 octets, 8 plus 8. And based on that, your calculation goes on complex. So I can keep this as for your exercise. I have given multiple questions also. You can go with it. Now, if you do have any query, I can take your query. Otherwise, we can stop today here. Yeah. Yes. If you do have any query, you can ask me. Understood whatever the content today we have gone through?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So if you do have any query, you can ask me. Otherwise, we can stop today. Yes. Anybody is having the query?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So no, sir. That's it from my side for today's session content. I thought that everybody understood the concept of IP addressing, their classes, their types also, and how you can use it for designing the network. And tomorrow we're going to have the hands-on session using Cisco Packet Tracer tool. Okay, so it becomes very much easier, and you can easily analyze it, visualize it. Okay. So I think thank you all of you being with this particular session. Okay, and we'll see you in tomorrow's session at 5:50. Okay. So thanks a lot for
Yes,
all.
sir.
Thank you,
so
sir.
much.
Thank you, sir.
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 Sir, is it possible to share the document?
Yes. Yes, I have installed one extension, so automatically your attendance will be recorded, not an issue.
No, not that one. The what I can say, the study material you were presenting.
Yes. What I'm doing, I'm recording the content every day. Okay, I'm sharing it with the help of Google Drive. at the end of the workshop.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll share
Okay,
in
sir.
the
Thank
link.
you.
All the material, all the videos will be available there. You can have the content also.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay.
It was a great session. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.